Hello guys, Wahoo here, back with another video. This time around we're talking about how to gain your experience as fast as possible and the different ways to gain even more, and also the ways of how to gain it, I guess, doing whatever methods to that collect that experience. And if my voice sounds a little bit different, it's because I'm recording this in the morning, so I might sound a little bit different. It's just because it's in the morning. So yeah. So first, I'm going to talk about the different ways of gaining experiences, like or boosting that experience, basically. Like what can you do to gain more experience? So there's a few ways. Right now, as I'm recording this video, we have an extra weekly bonus of the 100% extra base experience. So this is awesome, but it's not always there. So some weeks it's an extra invaders or something else, and sometimes we also have events going on, and you can't see it right here because the event thing is here. But then you can go to your character sheet, and you can go under stats, and you go down to experience gained, and it will always be 100%. No matter what, you will always have 100% experience because you're always going to get the normal amount. So it's not like it's boosted, it's just 100% you're gaining that. So without doing anything at all, having this bonus week, you are getting 100% extra experience. So this is not something that's always on, but sometimes it's there. So just keep an eye out for it if you plan accordingly. So you can plan ahead with that. And with that said, there's of course the oh, that's not that's not what I want to do. Oh yeah, welcome you. Yes, sorry. So Saturdays, that's what I wanted to do. Without having Patreon or anything like that, you are going to gain a 50% extra experience on Saturdays. And of course, that stacks with, the 200% you have here. So that's why I mean plan ahead. If you see the experience, you can see, okay, this Saturday I really have to grind out some experience. And also, of course, if you have Patreon, you get on that day you get 100% more experience also there. And it stacks with all of this, and even if you do also have Patreon, even more. And let's go to the shop. You can see under here, as long as you have Patreon, you also gain extra 50% experience. And most people know these different things that I just told, but there's also a few extra things you can, which I will cover in just a minute. But yes, you will gain 50% extra, which also gains with all of this. So what I mean by not everybody knows every method is that clubs, for example, this is the one thing many people don't know, because most clubs like mine up here, if I go up here, you have the fixtures, and most end-game clubs do not have an experience shrine or an experience building, if you can say it like that. This is Lazaria, for example. They don't have a thing like that because most of these people that are in here in this club, for example, have all their classes level, max level. So there's not really a lot to gain from that. But if we go to our club in the, our community club here, we have a fixture right here that gains you 100% extra experience. So if I set this to primary, which you can change every 24 hours, so you can change it if you were running, for example, Lazaria, for example, the whole week, and then just like if you want to gain that extra experience, even if you want to gain that extra experience as an in-game player, and you only have Saturday to play, but you want to gain your, your contest, you want to gain your experience earned this week, right? You can even see I've already earned I've already earned my experience for this week, and I still have 4 days to left because of the 100% extra experience there. But if you are set this as your primary, you do gain an extra 100%. So if I had this one as my primary, I would right now have 300% extra experience just for being part of this club. It's XP week, and the normal boost we all have already have. And then of course it would stack again with with the 50% from here, and if it was Saturday it would be another 100% here. So I would be on 450% experience just for gaining, or just because of that, right? So with all of that gain, there's also something with that came with the gardening update, and I'm going to show you right here. You probably all maybe already know it. It's the vegetable sink. So the vegetable sink has something right here that you gain 1 experience. And I do not know if it's only 1 experience or if it's 1% or whatever. I don't know if it's a lot. You can keep crafting these and have these equipped all the time. So I don't think they're super OP, but you know it's a little bit. And I know of course these of course would stack with all the other things. So it's at least something you should look into to if you are if you're really buckling down and now you're just gonna grind this experience out, right? Then 100% try to get some of these. I think you can buy these also. Let me see, what are they called? Washed. Oh, okay, they are. Did I spell it? I didn't spell it wrong. No, there's no on the. I don't think they. It might not be. You can actually sell these, or maybe people just don't sell them. But yeah, you can. You should definitely try to get this if you can. But like you see, it's 1 experience, so it's. I don't think it's super OP, but it lasts 40 minutes and whatnot. But definitely something also to extra experience to gain, and we're covering everything, right? The last thing is of course the double experience potions. So I have here double experience for the next hour, right? And this of course stacks with all the other things. So I think you can get like just a rough number around 1,000 experience extra, 1,000% extra experience per hour if you are everything basically lines up. If you use patron, it's experience week. If it's you have patron and whatnot and so on and so on. If you of course use everything there is to be gained. But these double XP potions, usually we get one like from every event. So if you do an event, you get one from there. So it's a very good idea to do these events every time they are around, even though they might not be super interesting. Still, there is a double XP potion to be gained, and of course, don't just use it whenever. Try to line it up so you gain as much as you can, right? So that was the kind of the ways of boosting your experience. There's not really anything other methods to increase your experience with that, but 1,000% roughly is also kind of crazy, I would say. So also, one last thing about the clubs. I am on, or this club or our community club is of course on PC. So if you play on consoles, just try to look for one. Just ask in the general channel if somebody has an experience shrine. There's probably not a lot of them, but maybe somebody can be helpful and tell you which ones clubs have it, and therefore you can maybe join some of them. There's a bunch of clubs that have all the other fixtures, but I thought that this would be a good way to look out for other people, and then 24 hours later you can change to whatever club you want to after that. But yeah, we are, like I said, it says right up here Club Wahoo, so you're welcome to join. If I'm streaming, for example, it's the easiest way just to invite you. Everybody's welcome as long as you are a nice person. That's the only really criteria there is to join this one. But other than that, yes, that was the ways to basically gain experience or boosting that experience. So the ways of basically grinding experience is to, I would say, do dungeons, just regular dungeons out in the world and stuff like that. Whatever you want to go around. If you see all these, right? You can also do shadow towers, but it kind of requires you to do in a group. So you're kind of reliant on having extra people. It can gain you probably more experience to do so, but on this one you're kind of basically you can take a break whenever you want to. You can do as many dungeons as you want to, and you're not reliant on anybody else like have to run this. But shadow towers is definitely also a valid way to gain experience. But something to do with the the dungeons and stuff like that. So when you go through the worlds, something that not a lot of people know is that people look at this requirement, right? They look at the requirement, how much power rank is required, and when you get to between 15 and 17, you are probably over this power rank requirement. So, but don't look at that. Don't look at that. Well, it doesn't gain you more experience if you are in like the most experience you of course get is of course in U10 and of course also in U9. That's given. That's how what you get the most experience. But when you level up, just look at what level range it is, what's suggested. Don't look at the power rank, because many people say, oh yeah, well, I'm 900 experience or 1200, not 1200 experience, sorry, 1200 power rank, right? And there might be only level 17 or something like that. But then they really get like not hard stuck, but they can't really defeat the monsters. Not that you have to go for it's like I said, it's suggested level, but I would always recommend you going from level 1 to level 3 in the first world, and then 4 to 5, and so on and so on, and just keep grinding it out. It's not about how high you can go. Of course, you would gain more experience the higher you go, but you also have to be efficient, and that's the key word, efficiency. So some people say, oh, I can do U9, but I use like 5-6 potions to get through a dungeon. That's not efficient. That is not efficient. You want to go down to a level where you maybe use 1 potion per dungeon or even less. So you can keep going. That's the keynote. Like going. So you don't have to find a cornerstone all the time and refill your potions, or you have to go back to a club and refill your potions. It's all about keep going. So maybe you can do, let's say you can do U6, right, as your basically highest, right? But maybe you farm a lot more efficient on U3, for example, in the Neon City biome. So do Neon City biome. You will gain a lot more experience per hour just going down and being more efficient. Like you might be gaining, let's say, 500 experience per hour. That's very low, but this the number, right? But then you would gain 1,000, even though you had to do more dungeons, of course, and stuff like that in U3 than you had to do in U5 or 6, right? So that's the whole point of being efficient. That's the key word, being efficient and not pushing yourself there, because you are gonna gain there, but just by leveling up. Because when you level up, you unlock more gem sockets, which you can then equip more gems, and then you can be more efficient in the higher levels when you then have more power rank. So don't go for the the requirements, but go with the suggested levels is a lot better. And also always, Trove is a feeling about how you are doing. So many people ask me, oh, do I have 100,000 physical damage? Is that enough for U9 or something like that? And I can't tell you that, because there are so many factors that kind of what would you say, is in play with talking about what stats are worth and stuff like that. The only thing is, if you want to go try that world out and see if you use, let's say again, maximum of 1 potion per dungeon. If you do so, you can go through you can farm this efficiently. There is no shame in going down and doing smaller ones and just grind it out. The most of my classes I leveled up was actually U6. Even though I could go like even a little bit higher, maybe 7 and 8, but I grinded it all out, most of them in U6, because it was just so efficient for me. It was so easy that I could just run through it so very fast, and just gain like so much more experience than I would be struggling in the higher worlds that were up there. So yeah, I think that was more or less all I wanted to say about the experiences. Mostly I wanted to, of course, talk about the different ways of gaining or boosting your experience, and that way people know all the different methods there is to do so. If you did like this video, or if there was something I missed or didn't cover in this, make sure you, of course, you put a comment down below, and kind of, so people can go to the comments and, see if there's something I missed or anything like that. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Helps me out very much and super much appreciated. And also, if this video gets around to more people, even with just comments and likes and stuff like that, so more people get this information out there, and that's also the most important thing. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!